Have you ever found yourself trying to justify your opinion to prove that you're right? If you're anything like me, you've probably spent many years, probably an unknown amount of time because it's happened so often, trying to demonstrate that you know what's going on and that you're right. And we can spend a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of energy trying to not just build up our defences to prove that we're right, but also to show the world that we're right. And by being right, by being a person who is right, then I'm safer, maybe, or I can give me some kind of happiness. There's some kind of security I can rely upon by being the right one with the right opinion. So if you're anything, like I said, like me, I'd say most of the world, we operate from this dualistic perspective of right and wrong. And the fact that it's dualistic means that if we have an opinion that we think is right, it is dependent on the opposite opinion. It can't exist, it has no validity unless the opposite opinion exists as well. So any clear statement I make about anything, so let's say I think apples are the best fruit in the world, and I'm going to defend apples as being the tastiest fruit in the world. Well, that opinion is dependent upon the opposite, that they're not. If I take away the opposite, then really my statement doesn't have any meaning. So we spend so much time in our lives trying to shore up opinions, trying to prove that we're right, and it just gets us into further and further trouble. In fact, what I think it does is separates us more and more. It makes us see imagined differences in each other, which are only thoughts coming and going, really. Like opinions are just views that arise and cease based on multiple different influences and conditions. But because of that, we then view anyone who has a different opinion to us as being wrong, as being other, as being our enemy. And then if that's the case, then they're against me. And I need to defend my view. I need to defend my opinion. And we can spend all our life just defending ourselves, defending our points of view that we feel are so right. And really, that's suffering, isn't it? That's not open, available, collaborative expression in the world where we feel connected and at ease. That is suffering and struggling against life and each other. You know, tribalistic views of me versus you, us versus them. Now you might think to yourself, or you might feel, oh, that's not me. That doesn't apply to me. I don't struggle with these, this grabbing hold of an attachment to being right all the time. So a good way to explore this, to see if this is true, see how you feel in response to this question. How would you feel if you were never right about anything ever again? How would you feel if you were never ever right about anything ever again? How does that question land? What happens inside when you hear that, when you explore that? Most people, including myself many, many times in the past, would feel a reaction against well, what? No, what does that mean? That means that my entire worldview would be challenged, really. If I wasn't right, does that mean I'm wrong? So that would mean I'm wrong forever. But again, that's just a dualistic mind trying to play with things. So yeah, don't worry about what that means. It's just a question to help us explore, well, actually, how attached am I to being right? How much time do I spend trying to prove that I'm right? It gets particularly difficult and challenging when we think we're on the side of good. Not only do I want to prove that I'm right, I know that I'm right because what I'm saying is good. I'm defending the good. This is righteous indignation. essentially. This is us saying, no, yeah, my opinion not only is it the correct opinion, but it's kind of an exalted opinion because it's on the side of the good, on the side of the weak, or maybe on the side of the entitled. It doesn't really matter what side you're on, but if you feel that you're on the side of right and on the side of good, then you'll defend it. You'll defend that opinion and that worldview again and again and again and again. But the same is true, as I said before, that worldview is dependent upon the opposite. So the others who feel differently to you, they're going through exactly the same thing. They think they're good, they think they're right, and they think you're wrong, and they think you're bad. And it's just divisional, and it's all a play of the mind. Another question we could ask ourselves, which maybe points to some of the freedom that is beyond being right and being wrong, is imagine never having to spend time proving yourself right ever again. Can you feel how that's a slightly different response in the body? Think about and feel into all the time we spent trying to defend our opinion, defend our views which are built on sand really, because just like the circumstances that inspire the views, they come and go, yet we spend so much time trying to make them real and make other people believe us. Imagine never having to do that ever again. Never having to spend that time trying to prove others wrong and prove myself right. Can you feel how much more availability and receptivity there could be in life if we didn't play this game of I'm right and you're wrong? So I offer this because, well, I mean, it seems to be a dis-ease as old as the human race, this polarization of views that we feel is really, really valuable and really, really important. But it's worth noting that no matter how important the view that we're trying to defend, it's not different in nature to the most trivial of thoughts. So, as an example, the strong opinion or the strong political opinion, let's say, that I have about something is no different in nature to the passing thought of wanting a peanut butter sandwich. And what I mean by that is it comes and it goes. Situations have arose, the circumstances have changed, conditions have manoeuvred, and right now an opinion arises, a view arises, a desire arises. It becomes known and it passes away. So in the same, all opinions, all views are of that nature. Yet when we believe our safety, we believe our entire well-being, our entire livelihood depends upon defending that view, that impermanent view, then it causes division in the world and it causes us to struggle and to suffer. Now, there are no quick, easy solutions to this, but the reason I mention it is because if we don't see how the mind plays this game of right and wrong, we will be bound forever to a life of struggle and suffering. If we are able to let go of the need to be right and to defend our opinion of being right and open to maybe a more malleable expression of a moment, something that's not so rigid, then maybe we can find a little bit more freedom.